Obviously, Joaquin, as our resident Spanish guy here, as we take a look there at Ida Gudjonsson ready to come on. It must be quite a sad existence for Espanyol supporters. It is the city of Barcelona. They get very little respect, I'm sure, around Barcelona when your side is not the big one.
Well, you know, I think the difference is made in terms of Barcelona being such a big club. You are not really competing with them directly. The year that you can, that is the rare occasion. Normally you're a good second team. It's a team that is very liked in Barcelona. Everybody is sympathetic to Espanyol, but yeah, it is not on that level of the top teams.
They got relegated last season as well. They finished in 15th in the league, so they need something.
Right, our commentator Kevin Evans is standing by. These men here have it all to do. They're 3-0 down if you take the aggregate score from the first leg into account. And Barcelona are at home.
We're facing a 3-0 deficit during the first leg on aggregates. Espanyol are going to have it all to do in the second half here of the second leg of the Spanish SuperCup against a Barcelona side who were really on fire during the first half, particularly the early stages. It does look as if two of the new signings for Barcelona are going to get their first run in Spanish football. Second leg of the SuperCup. Gudjonsson, the Icelandic striker, signed from Chelsea, and Lilian Thuram, who's come across from Juventus, the Frenchman, veteran at 34 years old. Looking quite supple and going through the exercise routine. In the meantime, Jean Laporta, the president of Barcelona, getting himself a bite to eat. So Lilian Thuram and Gudjonsson getting a wish of good luck from the coach, Frank Rijkaard. We'll give you who they are replacing in a moment. I'm likely to see Mejuto come off before Gudjonsson. Can't get confirmation of that just yet, but Gudjonsson is on before Barcelona. Lilian Thuram will be on before very long. Marquez has gone off for Thuram. So central defensive position then for the big Frenchman. Hardly surprising, I suppose. Mejuto has been released for Gudjonsson. So it'll be interesting to see how the two new players fit into the structure and the playing conditions at the Nou Camp. Fabulous that they get their debut in front of their home fans.
What's surprising for me, Kevin, they've pulled off Marquez. I would as soon have put Marquez in midfield and pulled Motter off because he's on a yellow card, and I just don't think. I think Marquez's best position is definitely in midfield.
Well, the first touch for the veteran Frenchman. Moha operating down that left-hand channel for Espanyol as more of the Barcelona players look to go on a warm-up run. It's hardly unlikely, well, it's hardly likely that Espanyol would score 4 goals without reply in the second half. And Barcelona look to have both hands on the trophy for a second year in succession. Early touches all round for Deco. Puyol playing himself into a little spot of bother, fouled by Pandiani, who might just be in trouble with the ref for that ill-timed challenge.
I'm still surprised to see him on, Kevin. I think he's done nothing, and he's got Luis Garcia on, and he's got the young man Jonathan. Surely it'd be in his interest to play one of the two guys, because this guy's not going to last the season as far as I'm concerned.
And the timing of the challenge was not very good from the Uruguayan.
Talk about a typical striker's tackle, wasn't it?
Warm up here for Gianluca Zambrotta. Came on as a second half substitute in the first leg as well. Well, very much in control of Barcelona this match as Carlos Kameni. It's a long free kick for Espanyol. Easily dealt with by Lilian Thuram. Belletti. Frenchman getting his fair share of the ball in the early stages, receives a warm round of applause every time he touches the ball. Now Deco suddenly to Motta. The poor pass, in all respect to Ronaldinho. Sanchez has been under plenty of pressure from the 26-year-old Brazilian Ronaldinho throughout the match. Another warm cheer for Lilian Thuram. That must be fabulous for a player that's just come to a new club and gets cheered every time he touches the ball by the fans. And they have to turn now and orchestrate the defence in front of Rijkaard.
He made an interception, he got even bigger cheer. I hope he doesn't score.
Fredson trying to link up with Pandiani. There's space on the right-hand side here for Rufete. Way by the big figure of Motta. Now it's Deco. Ronaldinho. A little less space in the opening stages of the second half than they were in the first, and Espanyol just doing well to hold down the gaps that were gaping ones during the first half.
I think the young man Sanchez will learn a tremendous lot from this game, particularly playing against Ronaldinho, and he hasn't done too badly, taking all in all, he's 20 years of age, and great education for him.
He was totally flummoxed by the opening cross on 2 minutes that led to the goal by Xavi, but since then he's done a pretty good job. Attempted nutmeg a couple of times by Ronaldinho, were well spotted by the youngster. Thuram going back to Rijkaard. Costa. Now Motta for Barcelona. Only Barcelona man to have picked up a card during the first half. Gio van Bronckhorst. Puyol. Good venture forward for the captain, and well, he's found a bit of space here. Will be tracked down by Sanchez and knocked off the ball by his opposition captain, Jacques. Oh, some of the fans enjoyed that.
Very unusual for Puyol to do that. He's a normally very disciplined defender.
Now he has to scurry back as there's a bit of space offered here for Rufete. The keeper comes out, the punches with just the right hand.
Great cross there by Rufete. He did well, the keeper. Okay.
Oh, it's a poor clearance. Rufete away by Thuram. Now it's Deco. Just an inkling of an opportunity for Espanyol, and it's those sort of chances that normally should be taken.
That's the problem when you got a team like Barcelona. They want to play in every circumstance, and Gio nearly let them down there.
Messi drawing a little run on the ball, finds Ronaldinho, back to Messi. Ball not quite feeding its way through to Good Johnson, who was in a position on the right-hand side.
I was a bit surprised to see Ronaldinho pass the ball, and I thought he might have taken the defender on.
Coro looking for Fredson, now ball with Pandiani. Spreading the ball around with greater confidence, I suppose. Never say die and nothing to lose attitude from Espanyol at the moment.
Appealing for a corner, but it definitely came off him last.
Belletti a little static in the middle of the park from Xavi. He's picked up a knock and the referee had a little word to him. He's allowed the advantage though for Barcelona.
I think Ronaldinho had a little kick there at Ruffey.
Freddo is not looking terribly happy with that. Neither is the coach, Ernesto Valverde, who hasn't made a change at half-time.
A little bit of retaliation there by Ronaldinho. Watch. See him go over the top. Over the top he went. Absolute nonsense. Could end a player's career, that, Kevin, you know. It really is out of order. Even a great player like Ronaldinho shouldn't stoop to things like that.
This is where the assistant referee is also need to play, in my opinion, a greater role.
I think some of the referees don't even know what's going on, Kevin.
Is there another change imminent from Frank Rijkaard? There might very well be one here for Espanyol. And the fans are in good voice, and no reason why they shouldn't be. Their team lead by 3-0 on aggregate as Gio van Bronckhorst picks up another pass from his skipper. Barcelona well in control of matters. Love to keep 2 consecutive clean sheets though. Gudjonsson, almost sure that is Gudjonsson's first touch of the match, and possession given away. Pandiani pinned against the touchline by Belletti and company. Sanchez. Rufete, foul by Deco, and he's been involved with a couple of incidents as Deco during the match. La Cruz looking to come forward, and well, this is much more confident from Espanyol in the second half, but the shot is a little wayward.
I'm a bit surprised that Gudjonsson's come on in place of Eto'o. I don't think Gudjonsson's best position is an out-and-out striker. I feel he's far better coming off the striker and coming from behind, like Rooney does with Man United. And I'd love to see Eto'o stay on and perhaps bring one of the other players off, even Messi, who's struggling a little bit.
Does appear as if Espanyol are about to make their first substitution. Reception by Puyol. They'll get the throw in as well off Fredson. That's the call I think you made at half-time. Eddie was to bring on Luis Garcia, perhaps for Pandiani. Really has not been an eager participant in this match as yet.
I would even thought of bringing the young man Jonathan on, the youngster who's come from Real Madrid. Give them a chance. What has he got to lose? He could learn something about these players. Put the youngsters on.
Messi, who's been very eagerly guarded by the Espanyol defence. Mota took his eyes off the ball for a moment, and Costa had him. But the pass too strong for Pandiani and company. Ayuba Jaquera. Gudjonsson trying to get involved. Picks up a free kick from Jacques. 26 years old is the Icelandish international. That was the challenge from the Espanyol captain. Ronaldinho. Belletti. Messi, in fact, I beg your pardon. He's a busy man, looking for work all the time. Espanyol look as if they're about to make a double substitution. One of those players coming on will be Luis Garcia, as Barcelona have a free kick.
I'm very surprised actually that Chelsea let Gudjonsson go, and I thought he did very, very well for them and didn't get the credit he deserved.
11 minutes into the second half, Barcelona still leading by 3-0 on aggregate. That is a lovely piece of skill from Lilian Thuram. Just a little show of the ball, and then scything it past Pandiani. Now space open here for Belletti. Scored from this area, or organised the cross for Deco to score from on 12 minutes in the first half. Xavi looking dangerous, appeals for all sorts of things outside of the Espanyol penalty area. And Belletti in space again. Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho. It's been hit too far, and Kameni comes out, and Barcelona haven't had too many corners in the match.
Keeper did very well there, Kevin. Saw the danger, came out and smothered Ronaldinho. Good goalkeeping.
Taken short with Deco, with the opportunities being missed by Barcelona. They're trying all sorts of little skills at the moment, are the home side. Jacques' clearance away from Gudjonsson. Torrejon is coming on, as well as Luis Garcia.
Torrejon, 20-year-old defender, Kevin, again, he's really putting the kids on. I'm all in favour of that. He's still keeping Pandiani on, though, I see.
Very interesting indeed as Coro makes way for Luis Garcia. It's as if it's La Cruz who's come off for Torrejon. And the double substitution. Bring anything meaningful into the game. I don't think it's Pandiani that's come off.
No,
Certainly La Cruz was getting into the dugout as once again forward comes Messi. Ronaldinho. Lovely stuff from Mejuto from Bronkhorst, but a good challenge as well at the back for Espanyol. And once again, it's Sanchez who's growing in confidence, albeit that his side are trailing by 3-0 on aggregate.
Very, very good. He's done it ever so well. And but the running by the two fullbacks, Belletti and Van Bronckhorst, are really creating problems for Espanyol.
Will not take it long this time. Easy pickings for Kameni. A real challenge from any Barcelona player. One would have thought that Gudjonsson, with his height, might have offered a bit more of a challenge on the Espanyol goalkeeper.
Thuram did go up for it, but he was on the far post, Kevin. The ball never reached him.
Deco does seem to be getting involved in a little niggle match, rather unnecessarily, with Rufete.
Van Bommel. Frank Rijkaard bored him and doesn't seem to want to play him at all. And outstanding play when he was playing in Holland.
It's very little game time as Espanyol try and set up this free kick with Moha. Oh, poorly taken. Tipped away rather comfortably by Joe van Bronckhorst. Pandiani not able to make any contact. Good defence that from Puyol, it must be said.
Very, very consistent defender, Puyol. Never seems to go below a certain performance. Always gives 100%. Never seems to make any mistakes.
More substitute candidates warming up for Barcelona along the touchline. There's a free kick of Gudjonsson here on Fredson for Espanyol.
Kevin, I don't think heading the ball is one of Gudjonsson's main assets, even though he's a big man. I rarely see him score goals with his head. And again, I wouldn't play him as an out-and-out striker. Rather, have him playing off Eto or somebody like that.
Well up by Lilian Thuram. Now Deco trying to release Lionel Messi. More space than he's had in the half so far with an hour's football played. Almost threading through to Gudjonsson, who made space on the left. Barcelona comfortably in front by 3-0 on aggregate with just a third of this match remaining. Good space for Moha. Not a particularly good cross, which he's cleared comfortably. Oh, Gudjonsson to pull on Deco. Ball's been kicked away as well, so the referee might have a word to the player. I don't think he'll issue a yellow card. This is the burst through the space by the Portuguese man. Was curtailed by the foul. Now Xavi. A lot of space open for Belletti suddenly. Messi. Belletti done well on that right-hand side. There's a whole host of players there, but it's was it Ronaldinho or was it Deco with his second? Barcelona have scored their third goal of the match and extend their aggregate advantage to 4-0. Kameni beaten for the third time on the night, looks bemused. Hasn't really looked that comfortable in goal for Espanyol.
I think, Kevin, in fairness, he's had no chance to each one of the 3 goals.
Deco with a third goal on the evening, one either side of half-time for Barcelona. Home side stretch their advantage. The ball that was crossed in. Acrobatic stuff. Almost took the head off his teammate. Good cross again from Belletti. 2 crosses from Belletti, 2 goals from Deco. Combination that'll have to be watched very closely by the rest of the sides in the Spanish Primera Liga. How often do you see those acrobatic efforts finding the back of the net? And Ronaldinho looked as if he was about to try and header the ball. Deco got there first. Riera has made an appearance, is the 3rd change for Espanyol.
A former Manchester City player, played for Man City last season in the English Premier League.
And a good game in the first leg as well. Rijkaard positioning the wall in front of the free kick. Fredson could be one of the candidates to have a shot. In fact, he's got into the wall to run a bit of interference. Well, that's not a bad effort. Rijkaard perhaps just arriving a little late.
I certainly don't think that Yorkie's let the side down, Kevin. He's done very, very well. Done everything he's been asked for.
One can understand Luis Garcia getting involved in the play as early as what he has. Espanyol, having made all 3 changes, trailed by 3-0 on the evening. By 4-0 on aggregate in total. Barcelona coaches just briefly chatting about the final substitution that they're going to make, and Iniesta will come on again. Came on as a substitute in the first leg as well. Such a lot of depth in the squad that Frank Rijkaard has to choose from. Johnson, a holding off Sanchez. In fact, it's Jacques who fouls the Icelandic international.
Yellow card for Jacques too. Just trying to think who's going to pull off. I think Motta, who's a defensive midfield player, rather bring Iniesta on instead of him, but could even be Deco.
Deco has scored 2 goals, and this is the second of them. Nice cross again from Belletti. Acrobatic stuff from the Portuguese man. Confirmation of Jacques' yellow card, and moving forward, looking for another opportunity at the goal of Carlos Kameni. It's Motta this time. Thuram finds Van Bronckhorst. Puyol giving Candiani a bit of a run around. Now Xavi. Free kick to Barcelona.
Let know how many fouls he's given away tonight, Costa. He's just purely there to upset a few people.
There's a disruptive influence on the part of Espanyol, but now Thuram, closest he's been to the halfway line since coming on as a substitute from that position at half-time. Ronaldinho beating off 2 markers, taking on a whole bunch more who stand their ground, and Costa gets the clearance. Fete. Jacques. Tough challenge coming into the middle of the park, but Espanyol playing with a lot greater flair in the second half than they were during the first. Fredson trying to find a way through, and there's space on the left-hand side, and the header. It's never going to be on target from Fredson. Little space for Rufete. Rijkaard will stand and take those all night. Jacques away for Espanyol. Again, Barcelona going through one of those phases where they allowing the opposition a bit of space and a bit of possession, but not really too much penetration towards the goal of Rijkaard. Johnson finds Belletti. Elian Thuram. Van Bronckhorst onto Puyol. Very comfortable in the back for Barcelona, and Frank Rijkaard could almost be excused for thinking he's got this wrapped up, but he wants more action, more goals. This is a little earlier with Ronaldinho suggesting that he got an elbow from the captain of Espanyol. Iniesta about to come on, and well, once again the expertise comes to the fore.
Well, he's basically the holding midfielder. I think 3-0 down, they don't need that anymore, so rather bring a young man like Ernesto, who's a superb passer of the ball.
Xavi finds Gudjonsson. And it's Costa who is giving the Icelandic international a very hard time indeed.
Again.
Sanchez not as confident this time with the clearance as what he's been in the match. In the corner taken quickly. Deco. Space for Iniesta almost immediately. Well, that's thrilling stuff, and Messi will have an opportunity. Appeals for the offside, just given by the far side assistant referee, and Balletti really enjoying himself on that right-hand flank.
I think this is his game, Kevin. He's an outstanding wing-back, particularly going forward. Bit unfortunate, he just timed his run a little bit too soon.
Is there something in the offing for Espanyol, the way of a consolation goal, because with only about 20 minutes remaining, as we have a look at that offside between Messi and Balletti. Not much time remaining for Espanyol. Can only hope that they can grab a late goal, and perhaps with it the confidence that'll take them into their first round of matches in the Spanish Primera Liga come the weekend, next weekend. Puyol, a little bit of a scramble in front of Pandiani. Puyol goes down. There's no whistle though, because Barcelona are in possession. Lovely touches by Xavi. Out to Balletti again. Messi. Messi upending himself in the shot. The referee allowed play to continue, and while Messi was going down, Bronkhorst was having a shot. It was the earlier challenge that was perpetrated rather late by Pandiani, but referee allowed play to continue because by the time Puyol picked himself up, Thuram had already hit the pass out of the half of Barcelona.
I think Puyol was telling David Garcia what he's going to do, Luis Garcia what he's going to do to him.
Good play by Balletti, frustrating stuff for Pandiani and Espanyol. It's all total domination at the moment from Barcelona. Rijkaard just looks on impassively next to the touchline. Knows that the Barcelona side is only as good as their previous appearance. Of course, this one will be a banker. You have the UEFA SuperCup against Sevilla coming up, as well as the first round encounter in the Primera Liga Sunday against Celta. Lots of matches and lots of prospects here. Pandiani with a shot which is nicely saved by Rijkaard. Iniesta has gone down rather awkwardly.
They have a very bad habit, Espanyol, of pulling shirts. It really is aggravating, and the referee must get hold of one or two of these players.
Pandiani certainly seems to have rather high work rate, although he hasn't really been involved, wasn't involved too much in the first half, and this is unfortunate for Iniesta. Doesn't look good for the young substitute, just 22 years old. It was the shot that was saved by Rijkaard.
I don't know if he got kicked there or he twisted his knee. It was a kick.
The knee on the follow-through, perhaps hitting into Fredson.
If it's a kick, you can run it off. If it's a twist, it's a different kettle of fish.
Immediately there's a bit of concern on the bench of Barcelona. Wouldn't want to be losing a player of Iniesta's capabilities with all 3 substitutions already having been made. Although, looking at the scoreline, one fancies that even with only 10 men playing, that the game is far beyond Espanyol at this stage. There's the cross from Belletti that led to the acrobatic second goal from Deco, the 3rd on the night and the 4th in total for Barcelona over 2 legs. Exceptional finish from the 28-year-old. View from Bronkhorst. The most confident of clearances. Xavi beaten in the air as well. Not too difficult from Riera, but good to see Riera getting involved. He did that when he came on for Espanyol in the first leg as well. That looks as if he could really play a part in some sort of success for Espanyol come the season. They are a team, albeit that they finished 4th in the 2004-2005 season, that blow a bit hot and cold, and somehow, along with teams like Mallorca, Malaga and the like, somehow just seem to survive relegation. Malaga didn't last season, but Mallorca did. So did Espanyol. Deco finding Messi. This is Ronaldinho. Now that man, Belletti again, who's really been such a thorn in the flesh of Espanyol. Ronaldinho over on the right-hand side for the moment. Causing a bother. Had Messi on the inside of him, doesn't use the option, and feels he was pushed rather awkwardly in his sternum, goes down, and enjoys a good chuckle with the Espanyol defender.
Slight case of obstruction there, Kevin. Just reflecting on that shot by Riera, thought the keeper Jockey really did very well. It was a difficult shot, bounced in front of him, but it's been very, very consistent and safe this evening. And certainly Barca have not got any problems in the goalkeeping.
Always nice to have cover for your number 1, who is not likely to get a shot. Well, he's not going to get a shot this evening because Frank Rijkaard have made all 3 substitutions. Pandiani once again just losing the plot here for Espanyol. Bronkhorst, Thuram reading the play rather nicely. Joquera.
Just watching Thuram there, he's so calm and composed. I don't think he's even broken sweat.
Half an hour's football then played in the second half of the second leg of the Spanish SuperCup. Barcelona leading on aggregate by 4-0. 3 goals have been scored at the Nou Camp in front of their home support. Messi. Can Messi deliver? Shot deflected away.
Good defending.
As far as Gio van Bronckhorst. Puyol. All the way back to Joquera. And they'll start building up from the back again, will Barcelona. Belletti and Xavi.
Interesting for me to see, Kevin, every time a Barcelona player plays the ball, he immediately runs for the return. Push and run all the time. Oh.
Little look up there from Ronaldinho, finds Gudjonsson. Oh, lovely vision from Gudjonsson, and the return ball. Might have seen the new player offside, but went through to Kameni anyway. It's about the most influential pass that he's been involved in so far. And like Thuram, who's slotted in quite naturally in Marquez's position, it appears as if Might take a little longer for Gonzalez to fit into the style and pattern of Barcelona, depending, of course, where Frank Rijkaard decides to use him.
I think we said earlier, Kevin, he's definitely better off playing off him, and with Eto'o playing off him, I think there'll be plenty of goals for the pair of them. Making a run from just behind Eto'o, that's his game. He really does it well, and got a lot of goals for Chelsea in that position.
Johnson now again beaten for pace by the captain, Jacques. Sanchez finds Rufete.
I think that pass by Ronaldinho was far better for Eto'o, not Gudjonsson.
He was onside, played there by Sanchez. Pandiani really hasn't been up to the pace of this match, in my opinion. Again, just falling short of the mark.
Apart from anything else, he handled the ball.
Well, Pandiani looks really as if he's been through the ringer. Thuram looks quite relaxed and in control of matters. Referee urging Joquera to get on with matters. With 10 minutes and a little bit of stoppage time perhaps still remaining in this Spanish Super Cup. Barcelona leading on aggregate by 4-0. Espanyol find themselves as a passenger in the fixture. Rufete trying to get it forward. It's been tidied up once again by Joquera.
The goalkeeper's, Kevin, he's only kicked one out of his hands. He went to an opponent. Every time he's had the ball in his hands, he's thrown it to a defender. Really building up from behind there.
The space now for Pandiani, who looks goalwards, but he's caught offside. The first real chance he's had in the match, and well, his timing let him down. Marginal, but from the angle of the assistant referee, a good decision.
I think that sums up Pandiani's game.
One wonders just how much first team game time he's going to pick up with Espanyol in the Primera Liga. There's players like De La Peña, Luis Garcia. Jonathan is there, of course, as well. Now Sanchez, perhaps on the evening, one of the more impressive Espanyol players. Ritson's been very quiet.
Just going to say the same thing. I think it's the first time we've seen him for ages, and he did so well in the first 15-20 minutes of the first game, but perhaps he's overawed by the Bernabeu and a fantastic skill of Barcelona.
Espanyol resigned now to defeat. Looking for Pandiani once again, and a long-range effort. And, I suppose nothing wrong with the situation as it is for any players if they get into a situation as Zabaleta was there to have a crack at the goal of Joquera.
I think we're really seeing this evening truly the best club side in the world.
There was away by Torrejon. No real pressure for Puyol, who finds Van Bronckhorst. Johnson involved with Sanchez, and Sanchez gets the free kick. Played across to Zabaleta, looking for Pandiani. Another free kick. This time it's Thuram, blown for the first time in the colours of Barcelona for a foul. Certainly won't be the last. Well, there is a proud-looking and very happy Jean Laporta. president of the Barcelona. Free kick to Espanyol. Johnson keeps it in play and then
saved the corner, Kevin, there. It came off Puyol's head.
Sanchez looking for Fredson. Ball's far short of his teammates and picks up a jeer from the Barcelona supporters.
The ball actually slipped out of his hand when he threw it, Kevin. Must be very discouraging to play against a team of this ability, really. 4-0 down, you've got to keep playing, you can't stop and go home.
Some of the dignitaries that have graced the match are making their way out of the enclosure.
Espanyol dignitaries.
Most certainly so, perhaps to the post-match function. Thuram looking to establish himself in that position alongside his captain. Deco. All very pedestrian, all very much in control for Barcelona. 6 minutes remaining in the fixture. 4 goals up. And it's just a matter of seeing time run its course and the celebrations of another victory. Mota having been taken off for Iniesta.
Dare I say, Kevin, Mota having a mutter.
Better trying to get the better of Joe van Bronckhorst. And have a little bit of space on the right-hand side for Espanyol. Thuram. No urgency in the clearance. Gets the better of Pandiani. Couple of touches. Suddenly a whole host of space and players up for Barcelona. Deco. And a hat-trick, of course. Finds van Bronckhorst. Good Johnson. Misses out on the aerial challenge. He seemed to be totally committed with his aerial presence or his elevation there. Ronaldinho's been quiet out on the right-hand side in the last couple of minutes or so. This is Deco again, looking for Messi. And that can be the description of a clearance from Zabaleta as well. Very, very messy. A corner, a late one for Barcelona. They're going to rub salt into the wounds of the already mortally wounded Espanyol opponents. Messi looks to set something up along with Ronaldinho as Rijkaard looks on to see what his charges are going to come up with. Riera with a foul on Messi. Iniesta. It's Deco, in fact. Deco, Messi. Can't keep it in play. In fact, he might very well have. This is going to be a corner to Barcelona. A good play and flair shown by the Barcelona side. Ronaldinho plays it short. This is Messi again. Oh, Messi suddenly a space appeared behind him. Xavi, Belletti. Deco again. Xavi finds Ronaldinho. It's all in Barcelona at the moment, and they'll have a free kick too. Really hasn't been a night to remember for Pandiani and company. Lunging into the challenge on Ronaldinho. The free kick taken short, Ronaldinho. Thuram, everyone except Rijkaard in the half of Espanyol. Thuram will go back to his keeper. Well, at the beginning of the season, Frank Rijkaard was suggesting that he was looking for 6 trophies. And it could include the UEFA SuperCup, which they play against Sevilla, with whom they share a position in the Spanish Primera Liga. Of course, the Spanish SuperCup looks to be the first of those trophies, undoubtedly. There's the defence of the Spanish Primera Liga, the defence of the UEFA Champions League as well. So, a couple of trophies really earmarked by Frank Rijkaard for the taking. Foul by Costa on Lionel Messi, who we haven't seen the best of this evening. Hasn't been given too much space, and had a couple of little darting runs, but nothing like the expectation that has come of the 19-year-old. Ronaldinho finds Balletti. Deco. Messi. Deco again. Deco looking for his hat-trick. Is the ball a little too far in front of Johnson. Rufete for Espanyol. Motta trying to keep him at bay. Fredson. Thuram wide awake to the danger. Once again, no panic in trying to get the ball away. Appeals for the decision from the Barcelona players, and not playing to the whistle momentarily there. Luis Garcia trying to orchestrate something for Espanyol, feeling the effects of a challenge from Iniesta. Referee not appreciating it. The foot up from Iniesta, who was backing into Rufete eventually. That led to the free kick for Espanyol. Now in the final minutes of regulation time, are we going to see consolation goal for Espanyol? It was the attempted shot by Luis Garcia. Oh, Luis Garcia will be keen to get involved in this set piece. Pinpoint positioning of the wall by Rijkaard. Pandiani will look for Luis Garcia. The deflection will lead to a corner. There's still the pressure on for Espanyol. The fans starting to request the final whistle from the match referee. Will Espanyol have the set piece cleared away by Puyol? Not really anybody taking too much of an interest from Espanyol there. Ronaldinho. Johnson. Iniesta. Nobody running off the ball. Is there space? Out on the right there is from Messi, but it's nicely tidied up by Zabaleta. Has come out some distance to defend behind Puyol. Into stoppage time at the end of regulation time in the Spanish SuperCup second leg. 3 goals on the day, 4 goals over 2 legs, and space on the left-hand side now for Iniesta once again. Iniesta, the curler, well wide. Calls comes from the medical staff on the Barcelona bench, and the referee will blow the final whistle to end an agonizing evening for Espanyol, who, while having a couple of opportunities, were really no match for Barcelona, who added to their 1 goal that was scored by Giuli 2 minutes before half-time in the first leg, by goals on 3 minutes by Xavi, 12 by Deco, who added a second 61 minutes into the match for a comprehensive 3-0 victory on the evening and 4-0 over 2 legs. So the Spanish Super Cup goes the way of Barcelona for the 2nd year in succession. They win on the night by 3-0.
Well, that little trophy is what it's all about. It's the Spanish Super Cup, and for the 7th time in Barcelona's history, they have lifted the Spanish Super Cup. Congratulations to Barcelona. Espanyol, at the end of the day, not good enough. And Lilian Thuram has his first taste of silverware in Spain on debut at home.
That's a fantastic start, eh? And Barcelona obviously had an easy game, as we predicted. Espanyol tried, but I think it's difficult to measure a team against such a strong team as Barcelona. But I think the new signings of Espanyol are going to need some time to understand each other. They didn't look as good as on Thursday. And there we see the president of the Spanish Football Association, José María Villar, who is going to be handing the trophy to Puyol, the captain of Barcelona.
So for Barcelona, that means these matches are behind them now. And on Tuesday, Bayern Munich is up next in the little tournament that Barcelona hosts. Then on Friday, they take on Seville in the UEFA Super Cup. And then just 3 days later, it's Celta Vigo away from home on the opening day for Barcelona in La Liga. Tough couple of days for Barcelona.
Well, they only needed the 4 trophies, Tom, that's all. They've got one, they were going for 5. Or was it 6?
Six.
Yeah. Okay, they've got another 5 to come, but they've got the squad to do it, Tom. It's world-class players. They really are world-class players, and I would have hated to have been an Espanyol player tonight. Really, they had no chance. And you know, you pick up one guy, Eto'o, and then Ronaldinho does it. You pick up Ronaldinho, and Deco does it, and Messi. There's world-class players all around, and it's certainly going to be a historic season, in my opinion, for Barcelona.
For Ernesto Valverde, from what we've seen so far, though, Joaquin, they missed out on relegation last season by just 2 points, Espanyol. Are they going to have that sort of season again?
Well, it's difficult to say. I think, you know, as a coach like Valverde now, he tried something different tonight, as he did, on Thursday.
Hopefully.
And it backfired, because definitely on Thursday, his strength was the defense, which was solid. And that right-hand side with Zabaleta, Rufete was working very well.
No Tamudo
he moved
today.
Zabaleta out to the front, and it just hasn't worked. And but you know, you've got a team like Espanyol. You don't have all these personalities playing, and you've got to try. And it's early in the season. Let's hope for them that they do better. They didn't have much of an opportunity, actually nothing at all, against Barcelona tonight.
Tom, the main point is they haven't lost any league points.
Who's that?
Espanyol.
Yeah, well, this is not the league just yet.
Well, that's what I said, they haven't lost any league points.
And here come the Spanish Super Cup winners coming through to collect their winners' medals. And getting a bit difficult there, getting that medal over their head. But there's Puyol, Ronaldinho, Van Bommel just going through there, collecting his medal. And Leo Messi cracked a little punch on the nose. And Big Marquez is there as well. Didn't know much about this goalkeeper, but Joquera did his job today.
Excellent.
He did very well. I don't think he was ever in trouble, and he looked very safe. Very good understanding with the defense. I think Belletti had a fantastic game. I think, you know, if you were to look at an outstanding player of Barcelona, he was really, you know, defense, and all the crosses, you know, from Belletti were very good. But the whole team has been looking very sharp. There is Thuram.
Thuram, and finally the moment we've been waiting for. Here he is, the captain of Real Madrid. Puyol.
Barcelona would be better. Yeah. That's
Barcelona.
all right. But Tom, Barcelona sounds like Real Madrid. Don't worry.
Thanks for that. It's
No
been
problem.
a long day. Got my mind on the Mali International moving to Real Madrid. But there you go, Barcelona lifting the trophy, 7th time in their history. And today at the Nou Camp by virtue of a